Hi! Welcome back to my channel. Over here we dive into movies and stories that help you escape reality for a little bit. Let's see what's on the agenda for today, shall we? Oh, this is a good one. Today, we're watching a story that focuses on greed, corruption of big banks and financial institutions, an unemployment and housing crisis, and even a recession. But don't worry, this was so long ago and definitely not at all related to the problems that we face as a society today, so it should definitely help you escape reality. Please don't leave. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome if you're new. Today, we are diving on into The Big Short. This movie has been on my list for quite a while now. Ever since it released in theaters, it's definitely one of those films that I've wanted to check out and just never have. So I'm pretty excited to be diving on into this one today. I am a big fan of Steve Carell. Full disclosure. When people ask like if there's a celebrity you'd be starstruck by, Steve Carell is always like the first one I mention. There aren't a lot of celebrities that I feel like I would be starstruck by. I've worked with a decent amount of celebrities, not a crazy amount, but I've worked with quite a few, and I've definitely come into contact with many celebrities in LA. And most of the time I'm not starstruck, or I don't even recognize people. I'm just really bad at that for some reason. It's kind of embarrassing as somebody who used to work in casting. I'm kind of bad at recognizing faces. But Steve Carell is definitely one of those men who, if I ran into him in public, I would die. I would melt, and I would die of happiness. My life would be complete. So I really love that man. I think he's fantastic, not only in comedies, but I have seen him in some dramatic works, and I just think he's a really talented actor. So I'm very excited to see him in something different. And I'm also really excited to just learn more about these events that occurred around 2008, because I was roughly like 14 or 15 at the time of this happening. So my worldview was very limited at the time. Obviously, I was aware of the housing market crash, and I was aware of the recession and the impact that it was having on, my family or people around me. But I was also sheltered from a lot of it because I was fortunate enough that my family was able to keep their home. And also, I didn't have to enter the workforce just yet. I mean, I was in high school. I wasn't even close to graduating high school at this point in time, let alone going to college. So I know there were a lot of people in my generation, millennials, that were older, who were just entering the workforce at this time, and it was impossible to find a job, impossible to use their degree. A lot of their degrees became completely useless when a lot of jobs evaporated, and people are saddled with immense student debt, and a lot of people had to move home with their families, but some people couldn't even do that because their families or parents had lost their homes. So this was an event that had such an immense impact on everybody in America, and also just had a huge ripple effect and still affects people to this day. I mean, our economy hasn't really recovered fully, I would argue. So it definitely has had an immense impact on everybody living in this country. And I'm just excited to see a story that goes deeper into what was happening behind the scenes. And I'm also interested how they're gonna tell this story in a way that is hopefully educational, but also entertaining. So with all that being said, I think we should just get on into it and see what this movie has in store. So if y'all are ready, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into The Big Short. It ain't what you don't know that gets you in trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. Mark Twain. I don't know. You can get in trouble for shit you don't know.
And if banking was boring, then the bond department at the bank was straight up comatose.
Wow, I've never seen Ryan with brown curly hair. Looks like they're trying to make him look Jewish. I didn't know Ryan Gosling was even in this movie.
Bear Stearns was in a death spiral, and the Fed brokered its sale.
The worst financial crisis in modern times.
I'm so glad I was like in high school during this time. I feel so bad for the people in my generation who are graduating college and like entering the workforce during this time.
But there were some who saw it coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
While the whole world was having a big old party, a few outsiders and weirdos saw what no one else could. Not me. I'm not a weirdo. I'm pretty f***ing cool, but we'll meet again later.
Okay. Bye, narrator.
One of the hallmarks of mania is the rapid rise in complexity and the rates of fraud. And did you know that they're going up?
Is this like his time in high school that we're seeing flashes of?
I believe maybe it's because of my glass.
I was gonna say something is up with his eye. It looked like they put a contact.
And a childhood illness.
Oh, a childhood illness? Illness or a football accident?
Highest fraud rates since the 1930s.
Oh, that's his glass eye. Okay, he already had it. He did lose it in an illness. Okay. Oh.
even when I try to compliment someone, it comes out wrong.
You have a very nice haircut. Did you do it yourself?
That is not the right thing. You have a nice haircut, and then saying, "Did you do it yourself?" is rude. Just say like, no. Oh.
I'm going on and on. My wife told me I need to share more.
He's talking to the camera. I'm like, is this a mockumentary? What's going on? Whoa, this is like a very breaking the fourth wall kind of movie.
So do I get the job?
Oh, this is an interview?
I really think I could help your fund.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, yeah, you can have the job. I'm just so confused as to whether or not he knows, like, what's going on with him looking at the camera.
Ask anyone. I'm a pleasure to work with.
Oh, yeah, you seem like a pleasure.
But the second my son screws up, I am yelling at him just like my dad did to me.
Oh.
You hear the words that are coming out of my mouth, and
Sorry, I'm late. No cabs.
Steve!
So get this.
Oh, God.
I met with this retail banker yesterday.
Dude, read the room. I love the hairstyle they gave him for this movie. It's fucking incredible. It looks like such a cheap toupee.
What do you do?
Oh my God.
Commodities.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that! Jesus
I
Christ.
know you've suffered a terrible loss. Maybe you want to talk about that?
I don't talk about it.
I feel bad for the other guy who was getting into his trauma.
Let's take this, sorry.
Oh, thank God. Leave.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, they're all breathing a collective sigh of relief now. Whoa, the editing is already pretty cool. Really, it's like putting me in his head.
Seven-rated jelly.
Ooh, it's like it's drumming now. It's a rhythm, like what he does. He likes to drum. It's like the way his brain works.
Mortgage-backed securities, subprime loans, tranches. It's pretty confusing, right?
Why are we seeing ducks? What?
For you just to leave them the alone.
The deer? What's with the deer?
Margot Robbie in a bubble bath to explain.
Oh my God, she's in every movie about stocks and finances.
So the banks started filling these bonds with riskier and riskier mortgages. Thank you, Banjo. That way, they can keep that profit machine churning.
I feel like I'm more distracted now than I was the first time it was being explained.
So whenever you hear subprime, think shit.
It's in the name, subprime.
So now he's going to short the bonds, which means to better gains.
Right.
Got it? Good.
I already understood all of that before you were in a bathtub, ma'am. I'm happy you're here, but oh, okay, bye. I was just that distracted me more. Okay, I guess this is a movie where we break the fourth wall constantly and we know it's a movie.
Let me ask you this. What company treats its customers that shittily and succeeds? Fine, okay, Goldman.
A lot of them.
When he was a kid, he excelled at studying the Talmud in yeshiva. Whatever. But one day his rabbi told his mom why.
He's looking for inconsistencies.
I love Mark then. I love it.
So has he found any?
Good mom. Dude, I did that with my rabbi. I had a lot of problems with the Torah and I told him why and I didn't believe in God and he basically just told me to suck it up and get bat mitzvah to make my parents happy.
Mark, I am sad every day about what happened. I know you must feel the same, but you never show it.
Did they like lose a kid or something? What happened?
You know how close you were to your brother?
Oh, brother.
Paul. Where'd you go, Paul?
Oh, dude, the way that they're like editing these men's memories together, it's so captivating and jarring. Like it really puts you in their head. If you blink, you miss something in this movie.
Cynthia, I'm okay. I really am.
No, you're not.
Hey, no, my cab. That's my cab. That's my cab. That is my cab.
Schmuck. Well, he got the cab. That's really all that matters in New York. Hey, don't hit the cab. It's not the cab driver's fault. That's really how you have to handle things in New York. It's a brutal city, man. You, it's my cab.
We're prepared to sell you $5 million in credit default swaps on these mortgage bonds.
Can we make it 100 million?
Absolutely, we can make it 100 million.
We'll be in touch. Send some paperwork over.
You know you got it if you wanna come get a stand next to this money.
Could I take one for my son?
I have two.
Oh, it's hilarious. That was such a good, like, cut out of this music. Wow, they really think he's such a sucker. We're using the music video. Oh my God. This movie is so meta. It's so silly.
200 million?
He's going to all the banks.
I mean, you can, but
You
are
looking
you
good
sure?
in them jeans. I bet you looking.
That one guy's like, I don't think we ethically should do that. Are you sure?
Guys, Cynthia wants me to quit and open a B&B in Vermont.
That sounds great. I'd love to see Mark Baum run a bed and breakfast.
Oh my God.
Here's your steel-cut oatmeal, asshole.
I actually would go to a B&B like that. That'd be hilarious.
Let's see what you got.
I'm sorry.
You smell that? What is that?
What?
What's that smell?
The cologne?
No.
Opportunity.
No. Money. I smell money.
You should have prepped your assistant then to say money.
God damn it.
God damn it, Chris. Oh, hey, he didn't knock over the Jenga tower. I just imagine them coming into every one of these meetings just to set up a Jenga tower. Be like, wait, we're not ready yet. Hold on. Hold on, just a minute.
Chris?
And then you gotta stressfully play Jenga right with your boss doing a business presentation.
My math specialist, look at him. You notice anything different about him? Look at his face. Look at his eyes. I'll give you a hint. His name's Yang.
Oh my God, dude.
He won a national math competition in China. He doesn't even speak English.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Actually, my name's Jiang, and I do speak English. Jared likes to say I don't because he thinks it makes me seem more authentic. And I got second in that national math competition.
It's okay, Jiang. Oh my God. This movie is like so silly. I do think making a movie like this that constantly breaks the fourth wall and talks to the audience does make it more captivating for a movie that like kind of about a topic that people would get bored or lose interest in quickly. So it grabs people's attention when you talk to them frequently.
When the market deems a bond too risky to buy, what do you think we do with it? We just repackage it with a bunch of other that didn't sell and put it into a CDO.
What is a CDO? Collateralized debt obligation?
And we put them in a pile.
Oh, he's got to frantically make Jenga piles again.
And then the whores at the rating agency give it a 92, 93% AAA rating. No questions asked.
Oh my God.
Say that again.
Collateralized.
You say it to the audience. We're dumb. Come on.
Here's world famous chef Anthony Bourdain.
Yes, thank you. We need another celebrity. Oh, R.I.P. Okay, this is actually distracting again. I don't like seafood.
Triple B's, 0. And then that happens.
What is that?
It's gonna crash, bro.
That's America's housing market. Thank you.
Hey, Jared.
Shut your mouth.
Oh. Oh, his poor sister. The actor's doing a really good job.
Well, I hope there's some Cuban restaurants on the way there because I hear the Cuban food is amazing in Miami.
Please don't be chipper in the face of me being miserable. It really makes me hate.
How dare you talk about anything positive, man?
What do these go for?
Whoa. It's like a ghost town. Oh, there's a dog in there though, so that's that. At least somebody is living there, right?
I'm looking for a Harvey Humpsey.
You want my landlord's dog?
His landlord.
Your landlord filled out his mortgage application using his dog's name?
I guess so. Has that asshole not been paying his mortgage? Because I've been paying my rent.
Well, yeah, he is over 90 days delinquent.
Seriously, man. Am I gonna have to leave?
Oh, that's sad.
You should talk to your landlord about that. I'm sorry, I don't have any more information, but
Oh God, this is heartbreaking. This is so heartbreaking. They're talking about betting against this, and these are the people who are actually going to be affected.
It's not my fault, dude. I've been paying.
Yeah. Maybe you should stop paying. Honestly, I would stop paying.
It's like Chernobyl.
Yeah, it's spooky.
100 houses, it can't be 4 people living in.
That is accurate. That's like so accurate. Although it's silly as to get an alligator just for this movie. I was in a movie that did that. They brought in like a real big alligator.
How many loans do you write each month?
About 60.
What was it 4 years ago?
10, maybe 15.
Damn, I was a bartender. Now I own a boat.
You own a boat. So how many of these?
That pivot.
Adjustables are bread and honey.
So do applicants ever get rejected?
Bread and honey, not bread and butter. No, they don't get rejected. None of them.
If they get rejected, I suck at my job.
They're like car salesmen. They're like slimy car salesmen.
Could you hold on a second?
They have no idea how in the they are. Oh my God.
Why are they confessing?
They're not confessing.
They're bragging.
They're bragging. They think it's a good, they don't understand that this is like a horrible thing. Their job is just push houses.
I focus on the immigrants, you know? Once they find out they're getting a home, they sign where you tell them to sign. Don't ask questions, don't understand the rates.
Idiots. I make $2,000 on a fixed rate prime, but I can make $10,000 on a subprime adjustable. Trust me, I'm not driving a 7 Series without strippers. No one on the pole has good credit, and they're all cash rich.
I think I read Warren Buffett say something like that.
Uh-huh.
Not right.
Who's Warren Buffett?
Okay.
Who's Warren Buffett?
Strippers. Yeah.
Can you introduce us?
Yes! Yes!
Why?
I always get option pay adjustments. I'm a private contractor.
What? I can't hear
Oh,
you.
he's interviewing these strippers?
You can touch me.
Always?
You can...
Only in VIP.
No. You say you always do it.
No, he doesn't want to touch you, babe. He's just grilling her.
200% on all my loans.
What do you mean all your loans? We're talking about 2 loans on 1 house.
How many loans do you have?
I have 5 houses and a condo.
Why? 5 houses and a condo? Oh my God, I'm stressed.
Hey, there's a bubble. It's time to call bullshit.
On what?
Every thing.
I like that he went and did his own like independent research. That was actually really interesting to see him go down to Miami and like look at the housing market. I wonder why Miami of all places though. Like maybe that was just where some of the mortgages were.
Wanna know what you get out of it? You get the ice cream, the hot fudge, the banana, and the nuts. Right now I get the sprinkles, and yeah, if this goes through, I get the cherry. But you get the sundae, Vinny.
All right, I buy that.
Can we define what the sundae is though?
Yes!
Is that a random person? Does he know these people at the gym?
He has so many numbers, and I always forget.
How many numbers? Like phone numbers?
He's very specific. I don't know if it's the first one.
Just try it.
Why don't you circle, like saving your contacts, the most important one.
Is in the sky.
The eagle noise. That's hilarious. Actually, it's not even really an eagle, by the way. Fun fact, that's a red hawk that they always use to sound like a bald eagle. Bald eagles don't actually sound like that. Anyway.
You know you're not supposed to use this line.
Ah! Why did you give it to him then? Truth is like poetry, and most people hate poetry. Overhood at a DC bar. That's funny as I'm not gonna lie. People don't like the truth if it doesn't match the narrative they want. That is true. People don't like the truth if it means that they got scammed. Because people don't like to think that they're stupid. They like to believe that they're smart and would never get tricked or scammed.
You bought into a rigged game? Gonna lose everything? I'm gonna have to move back in with my mom. Can't do that.
All right, well, I got a colonic appointment.
A colonic.
Wait a minute, hold on, Ben.
Because I love Ben. He's like, I just helped you guys, but I'm not bought in.
I think we should buy more swaps.
What?
He's like buying even more. He's like, why not? Let's go all in, bro.
No.
No, but seriously, a colonic once a year. I think we need to go to Vegas.
What's in Vegas?
Vegas.
What the hell's in Las Vegas?
They're all going to Vegas.
The American Securitization Forum's there next week. Every bond and CDO salesman, subprime lender, and swap trader is going to be there.
Oh?
God, I hate Vegas. I hear the food has gotten really good in Vegas. They have a Nobu now. Stop.
I love this guy. Why are we playing Phantom of the Opera?
In our residential sector, our rollout of those variable rate packages were gobbled up by the consumers.
I have a question.
Mark. Oh, he's going to cause panic.
Would you say that it is a possibility or a probability that subprime losses stop at 5%?
I would say it is a very strong probability, indeed.
He's raising his hand again. Oh my God. Why is he raising it like that?
Yes, sir.
0.
Oh, that's what he's saying. 0.
There is a 0% chance that your subprime losses will stop at 5%. 0. Excuse me. I have to take this.
He must be from Bank of America.
Yeah.
He's always taking a crazy phone call after obnoxiously interrupting, but I love that he's true to the kind of...
Mark Baum really did that. When we were in Vegas, he did that.
That's great. I like that he's true to himself, you know? He's not fake. He's who he really is, and he says what he's fucking thinking and what he believes.
Charlie. Oh!
Stop it. Stop.
What?
you have any idea what you just did?
Oh, come on, we just made the deal of our lifetimes. We should celebrate.
You just bet against...
Well, yeah, you're betting against the American people.
Which means, if we're right, people lose homes.
Yeah.
People lose jobs.
Yeah, it's not really a thing you should be celebrating, yeah?
You know what I hate about banking? It reduces people to numbers. Here's a number. Every 1% unemployment goes up, 40,000 people die. Did you know that?
No.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
We were just excited.
Oh.
Just don't dance.
It should be a sobering feeling. Like, yeah, you can bet against it if you want, but just know what you're really betting against. You're betting against the security of the American people. It doesn't mean you're causing it, but you are placing a bet that it's gonna fail.
I'll tell you how much I'm worth. You tell me how much you're worth.
Oh my God.
You are an incredibly big piece of
Yeah, that's all he cares about is money and...
I want $500 million more swaps.
Yep.
Sure about that? The collateral calls can bankrupt you.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I am going to try to find moral redemption at the roulette table.
Oh. It's funny seeing how disgusted he is by all of this behavior, but still betting against it and participating in it in a way. It is like hypocritical, but at the same time, like, it's pretty interesting.
He told me
You're not a saint. Saints don't live on Park Avenue.
that he was having bad thoughts.
Oh, and he...
My first response was to offer him some money.
Oh.
I offered him money.
His brother.
His face was so smashed.
Wow, it took the entire economy and like his whole world crumbling down for him to acknowledge the pain and suffering of the loss of his brother and the hand that he might have had in it.
To all investors, as you may know, our agreement allows me to take extraordinary measures when markets aren't functioning properly. In order to protect investors from this fraudulent market, I've decided to restrict investors' withdrawals until further notice.
Oh, they're not gonna like that. That's it? That's all he said? That's all he wrote? They're not gonna like that. They're replying quickly. I bet all those replies just say, what the They're calling. Dude, the sound design for like Michael's head is so interesting because it's so rhythmic and high-paced and frenetic.
Hello, Ben, hey.
Guys?
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us?
Guys?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I hardly got cell phone or Wi-Fi service.
Back in the days when it was like hard to make an international call.
All right, let's see what Credit Suisse's appetite is.
He's trying to do this in a pub in England. That's amazing.
Look, if you don't want the deal, you can just hang up. That's what I thought. 90 million.
He's got to be feeling bad because he got out of this game and now he's back in it. And he's got all these people disgusted in this greed and behavior. And he didn't really want to be in it. He just came back in really to kind of help his friends and probably because he was interested.
Yeah, hey, before you go.
I'm just wondering, why did you do this with us?
Yeah, why did he do it? I'm wondering that too.
You guys said you wanted to get rich. Now you're rich.
Yeah, because he mostly just did it for them.
Only one of the big shorts refused to sell. Mark Baum.
He refused to sell. Interesting.
So it was beyond perfect when he was asked to speak at a conference opposite Bruce Miller, a famous bullish investor.
Ooh, interesting.
Fraud and short-sighted thinking have never, ever worked. Not once.
Jesus, we're at
Eventually,
37. We're at 37.
people get caught. I thought we were better than this. I really did. The fact that we're not doesn't make me feel all right and superior. It makes me feel sad.
Yeah, he's all jaded because he probably used to be an optimist when he was a kid, but then when he started discovering that people were lying and fraudsters, it broke his heart.
Only that in the entire history of Wall Street, no investment bank has ever failed unless caught in criminal activities.
Well, Bear's plummeting right now.
From the time you guys started talking, Bear Stearns stock has fallen more than 38%. Would you still buy more?
Yeah, sure.
To be fair, you do buy more when it's low. You don't sell as it's falling. But the bank is failing.
Hey, look, you want to get a bite tonight? There's this new Cuban place just. It's supposed to be good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the one bringing it up. How are the turntables?
It's in a free fall. Clients wanted to talk to you about pulling their money. I mean, it's now or never, Mark. We gotta sell.
This is probably the worst time to sell.
It's Jeff. You're buying stocks? The market's at an all-time low. This is free.
That's when you buy! He's right! That's when you buy!
I have a feeling that in a few years, people are going to be doing what they always do when the economy tanks. They will be blaming immigrants and poor people.
But Mark was wrong. In the years that followed, hundreds of bankers and rating agencies executives went to jail. The SEC was completely overhauled.
No, it wasn't.
To break up the big banks and regulate the mortgage and derivatives industries.
No. Thank you. I was like, this didn't happen.
Just kidding.
Yeah, Mark is right.
Mark, can we sell now? I mean, the fund will make almost $1 billion. You'll clear 200 mil, Mark.
You know, once we sell, we'll be just like the rest of them.
I didn't realize. Oh, it is a good financial time to sell. I guess I just didn't get that. But he just has the moral qualms about it and the guilt.
Okay. Sell it all.
It's unnerving seeing him on a roof, like how we saw his brother in his memory. I'm like scared. When the dust settled from the collapse, $5 trillion in pension money, real estate value, 401k savings, and bonds had disappeared. 8 million people lost their jobs, 6 million lost their homes, and that was just in the United States. Mark Baum's wife, Cynthia, says Mark actually became gracious after the collapse and never said, "I told you so" to anyone. Charlie and Jamie attempted to sue the ratings agencies, but were laughed out of all law offices. Jamie still runs Brownfield, but Charlie left New York to live in Charlotte and start a family. Michael contacted the government several times to see if anyone wanted to interview him and find out how he knew the system would collapse years before anyone else. No one has ever returned his calls, but he was audited 4 times and questioned by the FBI. Of course. The small investing he still does is all focused on one commodity: water. That's terrifying. That's f***ing terrifying. In 2015, several large banks began selling billions in something called a bespoke tranche opportunity, which according to Bloomberg is just another name for a CDO. They're just doing it again. Wow. I totally see why this movie was received as positively as it was and had such great reviews. I think this movie did a really great job of balancing comedy with more serious, heavy, somber moments. For a story like this, you have to get into a lot of complex financial topics in order to understand like the jargon, in order to understand why everything unfolded the way that it did and how unethical it all really was. And I really enjoyed the fact that the movie decided to constantly break the fourth wall and grab the audience's attention in a different way, because this isn't just a movie, it's something that actually happened. These characters are based on real people. So I think talking to the audience in a way not only keeps them captivated, but also kind of reminds you of the fact that this isn't some fictional event and that this actually happened. It also keeps things light and a little bit more funny in certain moments. And I think that really helped the tone of the movie feel more just comedic throughout the majority of the story. And then when we finally got to the end and you're really seeing the impact that the housing market crash had on so many people, you're seeing how disappointed Mark is and how he knows that this is going to be blamed on immigrants and poor people and that the banks are not going to actually be punished or fined the way that they need to be. Everything just hits so much harder and it's so much more serious because a lot of the movie tone has been kind of funny and fast-paced until that moment. All in all, I think this movie was just really well made. And I'm definitely really impressed with Adam McKay as a director, considering a lot of his repertoire before this movie, before Vice and Don't Look Up, was a lot of comedies, you know, things like Anchorman and Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. Movies that are great, by the way. I love Talladega Nights. I love Anchorman. And I think it makes a lot of sense why the comedic moments in this movie did hit really hard, because he's very adept at that. But it was nice to just see something that had a very different tone from him, and I think he executed it really well. So how would I rate this movie? And when I rate movies, I look at 4 categories: 1, sound design; 2, production value; 3, acting; and 4, the story. The sound design for this was awesome, really strong. I really enjoyed how the sound design shifted and changed depending on which character we were following. Specifically when we were with Mike and in Mike's head, everything was very rhythmic, considering he likes to drum a lot and seems to think very fast and is very smart, the editing would match up with the drumming sounds in his head, or you'd hear a clicking of a keyboard that would almost sound like drumming and very rhythmic. Every time we were in Mike's head, it would feel like drum music and rock music. I also think the song choices in this movie were really funny. I mean, a great instance of comedic timing was just the Moneymaker song and the way that it cut out when Mike was asking for cups at the bank to take their mugs. I genuinely thought that was probably the funniest moment in the entire movie because it just was like the interruption of what you're expecting. But I think the song choices were really great. Like they made a lot of sense. And if they didn't make a lot of sense, they would kind of grab you in this really curious, wacky way. Like the Phantom of the Opera theme when they're heading to Vegas. I don't know what that was about, but I still really loved the choice. It was just so out there, but it still kind of worked. So all in all, I just really thought the sound design was really strong. I also loved that the ending of the movie was so quiet with just the sounds of the city far below from the top of Mark's building. That sound in particular really made everything feel so like small and heavy. And it also, not only did it make me sad for all of the people that are affected by this like financial tragedy and this collapse, but at the same time, it was making me think about Mark's brother and how he killed himself jumping off of that building and what the sounds he must have heard, because it would have been the same kind of cityscape sounds, all because Mark thought he could fix his problems with a little bit of money, and he's now realizing that money isn't going to make him feel better about this thing that he's participated in. He's been a part of something awful. So I think the sound design there, it was just so simple, but it was so different from the rest of the film that it really made everything feel so much more serious and emotional. I just thought the sound design for the entire film was really, really solid. So I would have to give it a 10 out of 10. The production value for the film was also great. I really think in a film like this, the editing really shined through. I will admit there were some cuts to certain things in the editing that felt really wacky in a way that I was like, I'm not sure why we're seeing ducks right now or why we're seeing a photo of a deer behind a girl. Like there could be reasons for all of that just went right over my head. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. But all in all, the editing felt really fast-paced, really captivating and frenetic and fun. And I think it only amplified the tone of the movie and the story. And I really did enjoy a lot of what I saw in the editing. Also, just the way that the movie was filmed. I don't know what like lenses they were using, but it looked really great. It's funny because this movie, you know, it was released in 2015 and all of these events occurred in 2006, 2007, 2008. But the lenses that they used and the way that everything was styled, it really felt like they had gone back in time exactly, 9 or 8 years. It really felt like that, even though it wasn't that long ago at the time of the release of this movie. Just with the styling and the lenses and the look of everything in the film, it really just felt a little bit older than the time that we were in currently at the release of this film. So I think they did a great job with everything in regards to this production, and I would also have to give it a 10 out of 10. In regards to the acting, I think actors like Steve Carell did a really great job. I also think the writing plays into the acting a lot in this story, because for some of the actors like Ryan Gosling, who had to narrate the film more and break the fourth wall frequently, it's a little harder for him to come across as more sincere than for characters like Michael or Mark, because they didn't have to break the fourth wall or talk to the audience very much. They could just exist in the world that they were in and not really feel hammy in that way. I think Ryan Gosling kind of had to feel a little bit more hammy and comedic and polished in certain moments than some of the other actors. But I really enjoyed Steve Carell a lot in this. I thought he did a fantastic job portraying a guy who was somewhat unlikable, very obnoxious, but also very empathetic at the same time. And I think that's something that he just does really well. Like a lot of the movies I've seen him in, I mean, The Office even, he plays a character that is kind of intensely obnoxious and unlikable when you first meet him, but he still somehow manages to display earnest vulnerability and create some form of empathy for the audience to latch onto. I just think he does a really great job with roles like this. It's not something that a lot of actors, I think, could do. I think a lot of people would just be obnoxious in this role and not really be endearing to watch at all. And I think he did a great job treading that line. I also think a lot of like the smaller actors and smaller roles did really great jobs. Like this is so simple, but I think like the guy that played the assistant to Ryan Gosling was just so funny. Like his delivery was great for everything. Same thing with like the two guys who played the real estate brokers, Max Greenfield, Schmidt. both of them did a fantastic job just being total schmucks in this way that was very entertaining and also very off-putting. I really think a lot of the actors did a really solid job in this movie, because I also think it would be really easy for every single person in this film to be intensely unlikable and not relatable in any way, shape, or form. But somehow with the writing and with the choices that the actors made, they actually, a lot of them were likable, at least from my perspective. So I'm relieved to see that, because I do think if you had a cast of characters who were all unempathetic and just really annoying and obnoxious, I wouldn't be able to sit through this entire movie, because it would just be so frustrating. And usually, you know, financial guys, financial bros are like my least favorite kind of person. But in this story, the way that it was written, the way that it was acted, everyone, for the most part, had at least a thread of humanity or a thread of something that I could relate to and appreciate. Not everybody. There were definitely people in this movie that were completely irredeemable and just awful and you wanted to punch them in the face. But a lot of the cast was really enjoyable to watch. So I think for that reason, I would give the acting a 10 out of 10 too. And then last but not least, the story. While I enjoyed a lot of the elements of breaking the fourth wall in this film, I think it was smart and captivating, and it made sense for the source material for this story. I also think there were moments where it was really distracting, specifically with bringing in celebrity cameos like Margot Robbie, Anthony Bourdain, Selena Gomez. Those moments to me were just purely distracting and actually less informative than what I gathered from actually watching the story unfold and the plot. I understand, I think, what Adam McKay was going for. I think it was really just trying to cement that fourth wall breaking, keep people captivated, kind of also keep things light and feeling like a movie in the beginning, so that when reality hits harder at the end, you're really left with this hollow feeling of like what really happened to the American people. You've gone from like movie Hollywood shining entertainment to like, this awful feeling of this horrible thing that has happened and wrecked our country. But I still don't really think we needed those celebrity cameos. I feel like it was a little bit over the top, because I was kind of already gathering what he was going for without all of it. And I remember when we first introduced Margot Robbie, like that was just so distracting. Everything she was saying, we'd already had explained earlier. And so I was like, ma'am, why are you here in a bathtub? Like, you're beautiful. All I can think about is the fact that you're beautiful. I can't even really like hear what you're saying. Like, it was just very distracting. Same thing with like the Anthony Bourdain sequence. I was just so fixated on the seafood that he was making and how I don't like seafood. So I think all in all, I don't really think those moments served the story as well. That's just my personal opinion. I know a lot of people might love that, but it didn't really come across as necessary to me. Other elements of the story that I really loved, I really enjoyed Mark's journey as a character and getting to see him recognize the ways that he failed his brother and kind of question his entire ethos and the things that he's lived by as the world around him is crumbling and as these institutions that he once believed in are no better than the worst scammers or idiots. He's like, I thought we were better and I'm just sad and disappointed. And it's also making him reflect on the way that he treated his brother. I liked that whole journey for him. I think all in all, the writers and Adam McKay did a great job telling a story of something that would easily be kind of boring in a way to learn about. Like, I know for me, I'm not the type of person that would really be interested in this subject, but I think the way that it was told was really fun, really captivating, and still left me reflecting on the impact of these events. And I just think it was a good movie in that sense. I also enjoyed that it didn't just focus on one person, but it focused on a lot of the different players. So we got to see multiple different perspectives and the way they all handled things differently. So all in all, I think the story was really strong. There just were some elements in the execution that it could have done without. So with all that being said, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. So that leaves me with a 38.5 out of 40 or an A+, and that is definitely a golden rating. I do think this movie was really well made, and I definitely enjoyed watching it with all of y'all. But that is all I have for you in this video. So if you liked watching this one with me, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know and I can check out more things like this in the future with all of y'all. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and anything else you might like me to check out next, and subscribe if you want to. Till the next one, stay golden. Bye.